quick take a photo, deep divers. Admiring the view right about now. It's a beautiful day. Like, this is a whole new spot, deep divers. I'm excited. Anytime I find a new nature spot, I'm excited. And that smells good. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers. We are out here in the heart of nature, baby, in the fifth dimension. Another gorgeous day. We got butterflies everywhere. The cat down the road meditating over there. We're in like a paradise right now, deep divers. That's what happens when you land in the fifth dimension. Everyone else is working. I'm just enjoying life. Now, New Earth is already here. Prepare yourself for the fifth dimension, raising the frequency. And that's what the fifth dimension is all about. Raising the vibration. Now, when I talk about dimensions, deep divers, what am I talking about? Because there are levels to this shit. Okay, we are all born into the third dimension. Planet Earth. We know it well. What happens on Earth? There are a lot of lessons to be learned, but also a lot of people are caught up in the ego mindset. People are caught up in survival. People are caught up in the hustle and bustle, conformity. Oh my gosh, it can be stressful. So if you're smart, you're like, hey, is there a way out of this? Yes, it's called the fifth dimension. And in the fifth dimension, love reigns supreme. In the fifth dimension, it is all about oneness. You start to see how everything is connected and that we don't live in an ego system, we live in an ecosystem. And therefore, you realize what we do to the planet, we're also doing to ourselves. You see, the fifth dimension is a higher state of awareness or consciousness. And for me, it's already here. For a lot of people right now, millions of people are waking up, ascending to the fifth dimension, even in the midst of a global pandemic. And when you come to the fifth dimension, there is no COVID. There is no global pandemic. There is only that, woo, good ass prana, baby. In the 3D, so many people are competing with each other. I just saw on the news, a news story of a young woman, Sophia Chung, who was in Hong Kong, who tragically died taking a selfie of a waterfall. You see, in this matrix, so many people are literally dying for the gram. And when you move to the fifth dimension, you don't do it for the gram. You do it for yourself. Slow motion this side. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? So wonderful deep divers. Shout out to all of you. New Earth is already here. Prepare yourself for the fifth dimension. Now, I told you, the inorganic ones, their greatest power is your fear. Their greatest fear is that you wake up to your true power. This happens in the fifth dimension. You wake up to say, actually, my greatest fear is not that I'm inadequate. My greatest fear is that, oh my gosh, I'm powerful beyond measure. You start to recognize how powerful you truly are, that you are a spiritual being first, then a physical being, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You see, right now, prepare for the fifth dimension. Because when you enter that dimension, there is no fear. New Earth is already here. You see, I've been living in the fifth dimension for a little while, doing a little samba, baby, and it's beautiful. What happens in the fifth dimension? You lose fear, all fear. You realize fear is the greatest energy vampire. Also, fear is false evidence appearing real. And this is the only weapon they have against you. Fear. Be afraid. Be very afraid. I was literally walking, deep divers, when I was coming here, and a man just like moved out of the way. Like he was so afraid, because people are afraid right now of catching things with COVID and all of these things. In the fifth dimension, you don't have that fear because you know you are protected. You know that fear is the lowest frequency. You know that you have to let love guide you and not fear. That's the fifth dimension. And you don't have a need for safety. In this new earth, in the fifth dimension, you don't have a need for safety. So if you are someone who's always like, gosh, I need to be safe, I need to be controlled, you're still in the 3D. So if you want to prepare yourself for the fifth dimension, remind yourself, whenever they tell you it's for your safety, it actually means it's for us to control you. Stay in lockdown, it's for your safety. In other words, let me control you. Let me take away valuable years off your life. In the fifth dimension, you are as free as a bird. You're floating. You are coming to beautiful new nature spaces. There's no Wi-Fi, but I swear, deep divers, you're going to find a better connection. Slow motion this side. New Earth is already here. Like, it's amazing to see, deep divers, how so many people all around the world are no longer believing what they see on the news, no longer believing the stage show. A lot of people are starting to think for themselves, and this is what happens in the fifth dimension. Many times when you wake up and you don't like your life, that's why you're still stuck. You want to wake up and say, actually, this is what I love to do. This is what I'm here to do. That's the fifth dimension. You are so sure of yourself because you know thyself. New Earth is already here. Prepare yourself for the fifth dimension. When you realize, deep divers, in the fifth dimension, what happens? You have this epiphany that love conquers all negativity. And that's why people who are in the fifth dimension have no time for drama, gossip, low vibrational conversations, because their love conquers all negativity. People who want to bring bad vibes their way, they just smile at them and they just disappear. I told you, love is what they are afraid of, because love creates a world they cannot control. That's the fifth dimension. It's people uniting, coming together, losing this ego identity. My name is Jane Smith, Ralph Smart. These are all ego constructs. Yes, we need them sometimes to move around, but you have to know inside of you, you are so much more than that. And I had to let go of this persona, this mask, to become who I really was, who I really am, which is a multidimensional being having a human experience. This program is crashing right now, and everything you see is just a symptom of it. The breakdown of society, economic collapse, COVID. It's because the 3D is ending. And the only way to survive, to thrive, the only way out is to ascend. Otherwise, you're going to go down with a sinking ship. The program is crashing. Every day, I am increasingly being liberated from this tacky carnival funhouse and this fake persona placed on me. Only love matters. That's the fifth dimension. You remind yourself, only love matters. If you reverse love, it is evolve. Slow motion this side. That's the fifth dimension. Evolution, not stagnation. New Earth is here. Prepare yourself for the fifth dimension. When you realize a lot of people are governed by fear, a lot of people are governed by what I call the conveyor belt lifestyle. You've got friends, family caught up in the matrix, caught up in the hustle and bustle. In the fifth dimension, you live in reverse in a good way. When everyone else is going to work in jobs they hate, you are on vacation every single day because you are living a life that's serving you. You are coming out, sun gazing, absorbing that vitamin D. Look at you shine right now. 7-day vegan challenge. You're like drinking a delicious mango juice smoothie. And you are smiling at the cat down the road over there who's sunbathing because you realize that all life matters. And if you want to prepare yourself to move to the fifth dimension of love, where anything is possible, start honoring all life forms. You see, they want you disconnected in this matrix. That's why people are wearing face masks and all of these things, because once again, you don't even know who people are. This separation is born out of the ego. The truth is, everything is connected. The truth is, we are all one. That's the fifth dimension mindset, oneness. And you now realize that all life forms are precious. Who am I to kill the cat down the road? Universe forbid. You start to see the sanctity of all life forms. And this makes you honor all life forms, but also Mother Nature. And in the fifth dimension, you realize that what we do to the planet, we also do to ourselves. There's something called morphogenetic resonance. And this is when a lot of people have very negative thought forms or a lot of negative emotions. It actually influences the field around them. And it's because there is no separation. How we feel affects everything around us. Slow motion this side. So in the fifth dimension, and if you want to prepare yourself for the fifth dimension, the new earth, you are now choosing emotions that serve you. You realize the emotion is the energy in motion. You realize to prepare yourself for the fifth dimension, you must lose all man-made dogma, religions, institutions which undermine who we really are, our true divinity. I had to let go of all of that to say, this is all man-made, even time. That's why I don't wear a watch, deep divers, because in the fifth dimension, ain't nobody got time for that. Slow motion this side. Time ceases to exist. So if you want to prepare yourself for new earth and the fifth dimension, throw away your calendar, throw away your watch. And why wear a watch when you can become timeless? Deep divers, new earth is already here. I told you about this split. A lot of people are still stuck in old earth, getting triple jabs and all of these things. New earth is where you are moving to a new frontier of love. You are now reminding yourself that not everyone is going to make it, and that's okay because there are levels of consciousness. In the fifth dimension, you are also working on yourself every single day, reminding yourself you can be the work and the masterpiece at the same time. Self-love comes into play every single day when you remind yourself self-love is self-healing. This is what happens in the fifth dimension. This is what happens in the new earth that's being created. A lot of people are working for money. Why are people working for money every single day? Pay bills. I don't work for money and I'm wealthy. Why? Because I'm working for the benefit of humanity. Slow motion this side. The new earth is already here. Prepare yourself for the fifth dimension. You see, a lot of people are impressed by material possessions. Louis Vuitton, Versace. I used to be infatuated with that until I realized all of that is a big distraction. You see, nobody cares about the car Bob Marley used to drive. Do you even remember? Not at all, because when it's all said and done, you don't think, actually, what car was Bob Marley driving? It's not important, because what mattered was the monumental contribution he made to humanity through the music. So if you want to move to the fifth dimension, you got to remind yourself, you've got to move beyond the traps that they present you with to say, hey, I've got to drive a better car than the next person. I got to drive a better car than the next person. I got to have a nice designer shirt on. All of those things don't matter. You got to ask yourself, what are you doing to help your neighbor? This is a fifth dimension mind state. Let me tell you this, deep divers, every single day right now on the planet, with so much happening and so much change happening so fast, you want to find your calm center. That's a fifth dimensional mind state. You're not swayed by the crowd. When everyone else is panicking, you are calm. And this is why a lot of people, you know, who have already had the double jab of the COVID, they're desperate. If another one comes, they'll get another one. And I told you, every year you're going to have to do a booster. That's going to be on the way. So if you are someone who's very desperate, you'll only remain in a lower frequency. And this is why in the fifth dimension, you're not just swayed by the crowd. If everyone else is doing it, you are standing in your truth, standing in your power. And this is why all the people who ascended to the fifth dimension, people like Buddha, you always see them alone, because it's when you are alone, you can come to know who you truly are. The crowd is the biggest distraction. So you're going to have to learn how to realize the beauty of being alone. And of course, no one is actually ever really alone, because we're all connected. Now, the new earth is already here. Prepare yourself for the fifth dimension. If you can remind yourself every single day that when you wake up and take a look around, who created everything that you see? A lot of people are living in the concrete jungle, cities. So human beings created it. But who created your own reality? A lot of people, not you. Everything you are doing is coming from someone else's mind. You enter the fifth dimension when you say, wait a minute, I've got to bring my destiny into my own hands. I've got to create my own reality. So being a co-creator of your reality is how you enter the fifth dimension. I'm sure you've heard the saying, words are spells. Okay. The word grammar emanates from the Old English grimoire, which means a book of spells. Shakespeare was actually a bard. So he invented over 1,700 words in the English language. When you learn that what you say can manifest, word is bond, and this is how to enter the fifth dimension, you got to become mindful that anything you say can become a potential reality. A lot of people say, she's a pain in the neck. All of a sudden their neck starts hurting. So you got to remind yourself, a lot of famous artists have even said things in their songs which actually happen down the line. Biggie Smalls, ready to die, then he died. So you got to remind yourself, you can speak what you want into existence. And this is the fifth dimension mind state. The fifth dimension mind state, you realize that your words, thoughts, and actions create your reality. You realize you're not a victim. Things aren't happening to you. They are responding to you. So in the fifth dimension, you're not someone who is just governed by fear. You're not someone who's just governed by feeling like a victim. You're not someone who's just governed by thinking that you can't do anything about the global pandemic. Instead, you realize you can do a lot. It only ever takes one candle to light 1,000. Slow motion this side. It only ever takes one candle to light 1,000. New Earth is here. Prepare yourself for the fifth dimension. People in the fifth dimension don't need a lot to be happy. You can just be happy in the heart of nature. You can be happy with simple things, just seeing the sun, going to the ocean. You don't need fancy things. This is a fifth dimension mind state. Simple things make you happy. And this is how you know you are entering the fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, and already you're starting to see people question authority. In the fifth dimension, you question everything. You also remind yourself it's all BS, belief systems. You have to question your belief systems, and this is how you free yourself every single day. It's all BS, belief systems. In the fifth dimension, you remind yourself every belief you have is a program, and therefore question your BS that you feed yourself every single day. We can talk about people's minds. A lot of people are mindful. That's a 3D mind state. Their mind is full of a lot of junk. The fifth dimension is when your mind is full, you are mindful. It's a state of meditation, mindfulness meditation. And this moves you into the present moment. You're aware of what's happening every single second. That's a mindful mind state. And when you practice mindfulness, your whole life takes on a whole new meaning. You've entered the fifth dimension where love reigns supreme. And then you just say, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? Beautiful deep divers. I'm just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. A whole new spot, deep divers. Look at this place like I just landed in heaven right now. It's a gorgeous place to be. Shout out to everyone who's been getting the wonderful good ass prana shirts at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you're a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart who wants to model the clothing, well, go and buy some. Add me on Instagram, Deep Divers, for more daily inspiration at Ralph Smart, at official Ralph Smart, and Facebook at Ralph Smart, at Infinite Waters, and Snapchat at Good Ass Prana, baby. Check out the new book. Breathe, deep divers, in that good ass prana, baby. Check out the new book for more powerful, life-changing information just like this. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook. They tried to bury us, deep divers. They tried to bury us. They forgot we were seeds. Right now, you've got to make a choice to stay in the 3D, in the new lockdowns, or to ascend to the fifth dimension where love reigns supreme. I know what I'm choosing. I'm already here, in fact, in the new earth. And it's beautiful, by the way. Have a beautiful day, deep divers. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You! It's a nice day out here, isn't it, deep divers? Go live! You want me to go live with this topic? Say, go live! I'm alive, right? Have a beautiful day. Peace. Thank you. Thanks a lot.